What's up, you guys? We are here for our weekend reflection message from the Radiant Sun Oracle. We have Venus in Gemini, which is flattery. We have the moon in Aquarius, which is independence. Remember our cat card last night, the independence card? Followed by Jupiter in Cancer, which is speculation. Underneath flattery, we have the Fool. Underneath independence, we have Three of Swords. Underneath speculation, we have Three of Wands. All right, so I will let you guys listen to the audio. It's really quick, and we'll come right back and talk about the cards. This past week's Jupiter-Venus conjunction in Cancer has us taking a moment of pause along the path to take it all in. We look back on the journey and ponder the view as we remember where we've been and how far we've come. We have an antsy desire for vision, adventure, and expansion. But if we don't slow down to appreciate where we've been, we will have missed the most valuable treasures of the journey. We know now that what we experienced as heartbreaks, disappointment, and perceived failures forged within us emotional independence capable of authentic integrity and boundaries. It has taught us not only independence, but has alighted empathy, compassion, and understanding within our hearts and minds. Jupiter is bringing its transit through Cancer to a completion. If you've been putting in the work to take on the assignments of Cancer, then Jupiter will leave you with a boon of expansion into your next level. Jupiter is heading into Leo at the end of the month. Make sure and take some time to consider what Jupiter's transit through Cancer has taught you. So I feel like there is a feeling of ennui and unrest, which is the stirring of pressure that is announcing the transition into change. So we're feeling restless, we're feeling anxious, we're feeling like the feeling when you're 14 and 15 and you can't just get in the car and go drive yet, but you want to so bad. So we're really antsy for this next phase of our life to open up in all areas, I'm sure, and all the main pillars. And so there is this sort of temptation to jump forward and jump into this new timeline and on this new path, and then just sort of dismiss the past as if, well, it was their problem. If they can't handle me on my worst day, then they don't deserve me on my best day, kind of thing. And that would be the fool's way to enter this next phase, because if we don't stop along the journey, the Fool is here and they've paused for a moment to take in the vista. And the Fool is someone who is kind of innocent and not programmed. They're open, they're simple, they're not overly cynical and jaded, and that's in their good sense. And sometimes they can be a little bit foolhardy and impulsive and reckless. So I think that we're looking on to new vistas and new horizons with optimism. But I think that we're being cautioned not to rush ahead and follow that Gemini urge to want to go explore and discover and talk and follow new ideas and new consciousness, right? It's very fast moving. It's it wants to move forward. But I think we need to look at where we've been and take in the view and consider how far we had to come and what we've been through and what we've been able to endure and overcome and achieve and build and learn and integrate in the process of it all. and not skip over that, but really take it in. Because if we don't take it in and we don't really take in the lessons that we've learned, right? Go back and look at all the major things, like, and pretend like the 100% of that experience was your responsibility, right? Having come on to the other side of a lot of healing and a lot of realization, let's do that exercise, right? Take responsibility for everything, even if it was somebody else's fault, so to speak. Why was it in your movie? What lesson did you take away from it, right? Because if we rush past and take a minute to appreciate all the things that you did for yourself and the ways that you honored your inner child and your inner elderly person that's, you know, going to be your future self, right? All the ways that you honored your life and your legacy. And appreciate it. Because if we don't stop to look at the trail that we're hiking and we're just looking down at the path and we're just like thinking about getting up that hill and when's the hike going to be over, then we don't meander and enjoy the view and take in the adventure and the good part, right? The journey is the point. So we'll be missing the boon, the most precious treasure that we will have gained along the path, which is wisdom, insight, experience, compassion, empathy, understanding, wisdom, right? So, you know, take a moment. What's happening right now is that, so we have the moon right now, erase. I just was looking at that card. I just was saying that out loud. We just had on Tuesday, this past Tuesday, on was it June 9th, the Jupiter-Venus conjunction, right? So we have Venus represented here, and so there could be fast movement in our love lives and in our money and security and earning and those kinds of things. Like there could be a big boost to those main areas of security in our lives, right? And beauty. But it's coming it feels like a long time coming, right? And so the Jupiter Venus conjunction amplifies all of those themes in love and money, and then on top of it, like our philosophy that has to do with those things and broadening our horizons in those areas. So all the work that we've done should be paying off in the form of a boon, right? And so now is that moment where we look back and we really solidify those lessons, because whatever we give Jupiter, like Jupiter is like our professor. And whatever we turn into Jupiter, the work that we do, Jupiter really gives us benefits and blessings when we do a good job, when we do good work. Saturn is like a much stricter teacher, but Jupiter is more benefic, right? So it's trying to give us things in the themes of Venus ruled areas. And the thing is that this conjunction is happening while Jupiter has been in Cancer for, I guess, the last year or so, year and a half. And I can't remember exactly how long the transit's been, but Cancer has been deeply emotional, right? And we've been struck with this like feeling of insecurity and worried about loved ones, family, you know, our inner circles, our village, like our communities, like all the things that are Cancer related have been amplified, and it's been really intense and it's been really emotional, right? And so, but the thing is that I think that on the other side of looking back at all of this emotional purge that's been coming up, I think we've had a lot of insight about subconscious drives and childhood programming and results of childhood trauma and inner child healing, parent healing, all those things. Cancer's the mother of the zodiac, right? So we've been healing all these wounds. We got 3 of Swords here, which is, you know, here to represent our heartbreak, our disappointments, things that we've lost, things that we perceive as failures, even if they weren't. They were steps along the path, right? So I think that the one of the boons of and part of the assignment is to appreciate all the experiences that we've had in life for what they gave to us. And I think that they made us into stronger, more resilient, more creative, more empathic, more resourceful, more, elevated, hopefully closer and more like God, closer to God and more like God people, more like Christ, right? So what have we achieved and gained as a result? And how are we looking at all of this pain differently, and even looking back and appreciating the good parts of us that it has helped form and refine? And so here we have, again, the Jupiter here in Cancer, right? This combination showing up in the card here. Speculation and Three of Wands. So I think wonderful things are ahead. We just can't be worn down by the path that has taken so long to get here and lose hope right at the end. We've got the rainbow there on the horizon, on the distance. Three of Wands is about expanding vistas and expanding our vision and going to the next level, having gathered our materials and maybe like collaborators and things. So it's like the end of creation phase 1 into beginning of creation step 2. If you were dividing like there were 3 creation phases within the pip cards and the threes. The first 3 represents like the first stage of creation complete. The second 3 cards are within like the second phase of creation. And then the last 3, 6, 7, 8, 9 are the final phase of the third grouping of creation cards within the tarot. Right, so we've accumulated all of this know-how and all of these resources and all of this experience, and now we're about to enter into a new level at the beginning again, but at a bigger level, at a more refined expression of what we've been kind of training for all this time. And so we're prepared to do it, and we're entering in. And so now it's just a matter of maintaining inner peace, not getting too anxious or impatient to want to jump ahead. Trust the timing of the process, but don't go into avoidance and don't get too lax. Just keep a steady, steady pace at putting your effort in, keeping, life balanced in the different areas, and just trust the process. Trust your intuition, the way it's directing you, and at what vigor. All right, you all, is all for tonight. We will be back tomorrow night for Secret Teachings of Jesus. Ciao.